Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am again, Uncle Fester. Just thought I'd come on this evening. As many of you know, I posted a video this morning. I was in a little bit of a area, my mind was all over the place, and I got a call this morning off a gentleman who was actually worse than I was. He was in despair. And I got a call from a gentleman called Lee. I've got him on and I'm going to bring him on. And the CMS, again, Child Maintaince Service or Child Support Agency, what they were known as, unbelievable. You know, this gentleman was in despair and he just got off a phone call with the actual representative of the CMS, Child Maintaince Service. And yeah, what I can just say is discrimination and alienation. It seems to be all one-sided. And they phoned him up. You know, they've been phoning him up on Sunday when he was out with his mother-in-law. He was at a lunch, you know, birthday for his mother-in-law, and he got 5 missed calls off them. They kept hounding him and pestering him, and today they phoned him while he was in work. And yeah, he works in an industry where he doesn't need to be bothered with things like this. They should be, you know, they should be treating him a little bit more, especially at the moment where we've got so much uncertainty. So I'm going to bring Lee on, all right, and we're going to have a chat about this morning and where we were, and I was concerned for the man, so that's why I've brought him on. I'm going to bring Bully Beef on first. Bully Beef, how are you, son?
Good evening, Uncle Fester. I'm bloody marvellous, thank you very much. Are you well?
Right.
Sir?
Yeah, I'm good, and thank you for this morning for directing Lee towards me, because I was a bit concerned when I spoke to him. You could hear the despair in his voice.
I knew he'd be in good hands with you.
So yeah, thanks for that, and yeah, I'm going to bring Lee in.
Thank you, actually. Thank you, mate, because he wasn't a really bad with this one when he called me.
Well, he lifted me up as well. He actually lifted me up as well, to be honest with you. You know, so it worked for me as well. So I'm going to bring Lee in now, right? Because, mate, it sounds like you had a bit of a battle this morning with the person on the other end of the phone. They discriminated him, you know, and making allegations of £15,000 he owes, and they haven't given him a breakdown again. But this is the mistreatment they give him.
They haven't provided evidence that he actually
No,
knows that.
Nothing at all. So I'm going to bring... Go on, what was you going to say?
You know, in this country, the United Kingdom, we're innocent until proven guilty. Now, these idiots are saying, you owe the money, you prove to us that you don't know, but they just ignore you in any way. Even when you are telling them and showing the evidence, they ignore you. So, and they've been brought up about this, about, you know, violating Article 6, but also breaching the maximum law. Hang on, mate. Breaching the maximum law of innocent until proven guilty.
Let's bring Lee on, all right? Lee, buddy! Hey! How are you, Matt?
I'm a lot better, thanks now. Thank you.
Lee, thank you very much for calling me this morning, mate, all right?
I'd like to say thank you to you, because it did me the world of good, obviously, and maybe calm down anyway.
Yeah, mate, that was something I didn't expect. We never talked before this morning, and I was a bit concerned when you phoned me, because I was walking and I didn't think I had the tools at the time. And that's why I went into the motion creates emotion, and we had a little bit of a moment. So, mate, that call this morning, can you give me the build up on how it actually started? Because I'm a bit concerned that Child Maintaince Services, they shouldn't have put you in that place where you were this morning.
No, they shouldn't. No, they were just obviously phoning up because I was putting a complaint about the arrears again, and that the assessments were all incorrect with what she had been doing through lockdown. And she was basically saying, no, they aren't. I've knocked off £2,500 arrears for you. What are you complaining about? Why do you want them reinstated? I was like, why do I want the arrears reinstated again? I'm talking about the whole arrears, not
Is she
just that.
sniffing through or what?
Yeah.
So the arrears originally, what were they?
£18,000.
So she saying, what she's saying to you is, I've knocked them down to 15 and a half,
Yeah.
and she's saying to you, why do you want to reinstate the 2,000 I've knocked off you, 2,500?
Yeah. I'm still saying, obviously, the 15 are still false.
Wow.
And she's still saying that I should come to an agreement with the parent with care and pay a lump sum, not all of it, just a lump sum of it.
How much are they asking you for? How much are they demanding of you?
To like have it settled?
Yeah.
They haven't said.
So
I said, why would I want to negotiate a price when I don't actually owe anything anyway?
And they've never showed you evidence. So
no. There's never been any complete like breakdown of any arrears or anything. And like I said to you before, when they last sent me what I had paid, or what I should have paid, and I checked through my bank statements, I'd actually overpaid by £1,300. So they can't even get the maths right with any of it.
So what triggered you even? Because this morning, mate, you were where I've been many times, in despair, and you could hear it in your voice, and So what triggered it? Because you reached out to your MP, I take it.
Yeah, it's like I'm banging my head against the wall. I've supplied all the evidence, and they've admitted the maladministration and that they got it all wrong.
Yeah.
And still, they just say, no, you owe the arrears. How can you owe something when they
created? But remember, Lee, they backed it in variation to the date of the case opening, when it should have only been to when the variation was applied for.
They've even admitted it and then said, sorry, you've overpaid. And then it went to we'll talk to the parent with care, and that's when they said they got her to put in a variation again, and it all got backdated.
So what this is exposing,
and they showed bias by doing that.
Oh yeah, what this is exposing is how corrupt the complaints process is, because Lee's been to ICE, and he's also been to the PHSO, the Ombudsman, and ICE. They're in bed with the CSA. I've got evidence of that, because in my case, I proved that they were in bed with the CSA, because they how can I put it? They had told me that I was at fault, but then when my case got to the Ombudsman, the CSA then admitted that they were wrong, which exposed the failure of ICE and proved that ICE are
and that
biased.
happened to me as well.
Yeah.
So
and then the Ombudsman is I'm sorry, but the Ombudsman is as much use as a bastard on Father's Day. They've got no teeth whatsoever.
Look, Ombudsman.
I just want to point something out as well. I just want to reiterate this: is Suella Braverman, who is Lee's MP, she is the Attorney General.
So hang on now. So the Attorney General is the MP. We've had this previously with somebody else, where she was interested and then she stepped back and she done nothing. So Lee, what's she done for you? She's your MP. She's your representative.
She just rubs her hands with it. She doesn't want anything to do it. I don't even hear back from her. I hear back from her secretary.
So what was the final word? Because mate, I'm going to ask you a question. Where was your head this morning?
Oh, it was everywhere. I was obviously trying to get on with my work and having to think about what they were going on about on the phone call. Obviously you calmed me down.
Yeah.
Maybe that phone call.
You can't function properly, can you?
No,
it's impossible. You just cannot function properly at all. They just wipe you. They do you in. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I was
horrendous what
so
they're doing.
angry and just I'd had enough, and I shouldn't need to feel like that. I shouldn't need to go to work and be bothered that someone's going to be doing that to me. Like, you know,
But calling you on a Sunday as well, mate. Calling you on a Sunday, what they're doing calling you on a Sunday, I mean, that there itself, again, is a breach of Article 8 of the Human Rights Act.
Apparently, I think she said something about that they're working from home now and stuff like that or something.
Doesn't give a monkey's stuff. That makes no difference. They should not be calling you on a Sunday.
No, definitely not. And so where do you, right, so now she's saying you owe 15,000 odd, and you're still not happy?
No.
Because they haven't showed you the evidence. So where are you going to complain next? Did she give you an indication where you can go next?
Well, she says I've got nowhere to complain now. That it's done. It's all been resolved.
That's it. You owe the money. You're going to pay.
That's exactly.
You owe that £15,000.
That's what she's saying.
That's just like me going to Arlene Sugden and saying, Arlene, you owe me £25,000. I want the money. But they've got the power of the power of enforcement behind them, whereas we don't.
Yeah.
But that's just like me saying, I want £25,000 from you.
And look, right, I'll be honest with you, Lee, I couldn't understand where, to be honest with you, what I heard this morning was I can actually understand where you were, because the inner conversations there are just bombarding you, and for her to turn around and actually virtually not listen to you.
Well, I mean, you kind of like just feel like just giving up and just going, do you know what, I can't go on with this anymore. It's been going on for 5 years now. I think Christine Wood, I think that's her name.
Christine Wood. So
I think that's her name is Wood. Yeah.
So
that's obviously a pseudonym.
But Craig, you've just said something to me which is a bit of a concern, because other people could be single, or other people could be. Are you single at the moment, or are you with another partner, kids?
Oh yeah, no, I'm married with 2 kids.
So correct me if I'm wrong. The last thing you would probably think about is doing something stupid.
Oh well, I obviously I've thought about things like that, but yeah.
I can ask you a question, and it might be quite hard for you to answer. Did you think about that this morning? Fucking hell. Lee, sorry about that language, but Lee, look at me, bud. Lee, nothing to be ashamed of, but look at me, all right? It's them inner conversations in there. Remember what I told you about this morning, what you're telling yourself, all right? It plays over all the time, all right? And what I'm trying to get to is, this is where they drive people towards with what they do, all right? And it's actual fact. And that's what I heard this morning when I was talking to you. And that's what really got me concerned. And it's actually getting me emotional actually talking to you about it now. And I want to go down this route, because I tell you why. Because people need to wake up to what's really going on. The mental well-being today of people is... We've got enough going on in this world at this moment in time without added pressures. All right? This is an added pressure you don't need at this moment. All right?
No.
So, hey, big man, I love you to bits for reaching out, and we'll do a bit of work later. All right? But and there's nothing to be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But let me tell you, remember what I was telling you. Come on.
I've been where you are, mate. I've been where you are,
and I've been where you are. All right. I done it in November. I actually phoned the police up, and I asked for an ARV to come, and they tasered me, and I ripped the tasers out, and I said, let's go again. But I was so drunk at my time, all right, they actually hit me with another taser, and it hit me on the floor, and they tried to section me that night, all right. I've been there, and I got done for it. But I told them I was armed on Putney High Street with a pistol. That's, but I had this, because you get this thought inside your head, and you play the victim, and then you get angry, like I said to you. All right, so we need to get rid of that, and we need to see what's going on in you, and I'll get the truth out. And I've been looking at a few things today, and I've got a few things lined up I'll tell you about, which I'm going to go and speak to a few people tomorrow, because I've had enough of this discrimination. Are you aware that there's a charter in place, how they're supposed to treat you?
No, I didn't.
Craig, are you aware of this? Right, I'm going to share it on a screen.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what, they are supposed to be there with the civil service code.
Right, here we go.
Civil service code.
Child Maintenance Service Client Charter, all right, which I've had a look at today, and this is our client charter. You're a client, all right. There's two clients. There's the paying person, and there's a receiver. So you're both clients, and this is interested. Our client charter, our commitment to you. So they commit to you. We keep the interest of your child at heart, or of everything we do. We do this by working with you to provide a service that helps you to easily manage your child maintenance arrangements. Right, Lee, I'm going to go back. The art of everything we do. All right, the child. You've just told me the state you were in this morning. How does that benefit the child?
Well, it doesn't at all, does it?
Not at all. All right. We will be responsive. We will answer your questions and sort out any issues as quickly as we can. If your needs change, we will change with you, and we will use your feedback to improve how we do things.
God.
That's the first one. Reliable. We will always tell you what is going on in your case, and if we say we will do something, we will do it. You get the right information, and it will be the same information no matter who you speak to.
My God.
Here's the next one. Respectful. The 3 R's. We'll be open and honest and treat you fairly. Well, I tell you what, mate, there was no fairly treatment of you. I can tell you that now. We will explain what we are doing or why we are asking you for something. I'm asking you for £15,000. So where's the evidence? You're asking them for the evidence, and because we respect the fact that every case is different, you can manage your case in the way that suits you best. All right, this is the charter, and it goes on. There's other things in there, all right, but I was going to give you a flavour of that, because do you think they fitted them 3 criterias of their charter by talking to you this morning and the way they've treated you over the last few months? No. All right. So there's a feeling
over the years. None of them saw.
There's a feeling.
They talk to you like a criminal.
And
they treat you as if you're a criminal. Every
Craig, it's discrimination and alienation. Next thing I'm going to ask you, Lee, is potentially, have they done an assessment on your wages, or is it guesstimation they've done?
Well, I'm self-employed, so they go from my last year's tax return.
Okay, so potentially this year, have you been furlonged or have you laid off? Or
well, no, I obviously had no work by the self-employment grant I was able to apply for. But this is what I said to her as well. I said, I messaged you weeks ago saying I was returning to work, but obviously on reduced hours. I'd like to know what I'm going to be assessed on, because obviously if I'm not earning as much as what I should be, that should be taken into account. But she said it has to be reduced by 25%.
Right. So it has to be reduced by 25%.
There's a threshold where they will take into consideration.
Yeah.
The threshold is 25%. If you reach the 25% of your change of circumstances, then they will give you a reassessment. But if you don't reach that 25%, then that is it.
So have you breached that 25%?
I wouldn't know, because it changes from week to week, because I may not be able to do something because of the restrictions of COVID. So I might not be able,
So potentially you should be reassessed because you haven't had no money, you're going back to work and you're self-employed. So the scheme really doesn't fit you.
No, of course it doesn't. How can you go on your last tax bill as well?
Yeah,
obviously we had a good year last year because nothing was going on, but then obviously this year it's just going to be.
I tell you what, I'm going to share another document, Craig. Craig, have you seen the document, Craig, where how we work out the child maintenance? Another document I found today. This is interesting, by the way. All right, this is how we work out child maintenance. Craig, remember, and it's fully in there. What I'm going to do, Lee, I'm going to sit down over the next couple of days and have a look and see if I can work out how they work out yours. All right, but I can tell you, it actually doesn't probably fit. All right. Best evidence assessment. All right. This is when our previous information held about paying parents' gross weekly income, or official statistics such as government annual survey of hours and earnings. So if you're a carpenter, they may go and have a look at what carpenters earn to work out the amount of child maintenance.
Yeah, I've seen this before in the case.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
but this is a cracker year, Craig. Default maintenance decision. This is when we apply the default rate. Potentially.
The interim maintenance assessment. Yeah.
Say again.
The interim maintenance assessment.
Yeah, this is really when they can't get an understanding of what you are earning. This is how I look at it as a default. And £51 a week for 2 children. So how much are they? How much have you paid? Considerably more than £51 in 1 week.
Yeah. I think for the last assessment for 2 children was £90 £98, something like that.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how, because I'd expect, and this is a thing that annoys me now. Now I'm getting into this and I'm starting to learn more about it. The thing that annoys me is there doesn't seem to be any breakdowns on how much they're taking off it, why they're taking off it. It seems to be. Do you get breakdowns?
No, because see, this is what I've always argued as well. Because they just give you the amount and that's it. They don't then say we've broke it down because you've got 2 kids living with you. You pay into an occupational pension. Or anything like that. Obviously, if the kids stay over as well, they don't factor that into that assessment or show you how they've broken that down.
But that's supposed
to be fair. I worked it out once how they did it, and I told a caseworker on the phone how much I was going to pay because I'd worked it out.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, you can't do it just like that. It takes weeks for us to work it out." I said, "I've just done it in 10 minutes."
What they ran out the fingers and toes, have they?
Yeah, it was divide by 352 times 7 and minus 19% or something like that.
Clive.
Yeah.
Do you know what? With the cases I've been working on, what I'm seeing it's all the same amounts. There's always the £15,000, the £12,000, the 3,000. It's all there's cases where it's all around about the same figure. People take
it's like if they'd actually pulling a bingo ball out of the bag with them figures on from 8,000 up to 25 or.
Yeah. But Clive, do you remember the other week there? The veteran who took his own life, the RAF guy.
Yeah. Yes.
Ian Briggs.
Yeah.
£15,000 of arrears, but then there's a case what I worked on with my friend from Tupara, Steve Richards, £15,000 of arrears again. And then there was another guy, Marcus King, again, £15,000 of arrears.
But Craig, but Craig, what you're on about is, this is what you're on about, the child maintenance rates, basic plus, reduced, flat and nil. They're the 5 rates you're on about, which I've come across. And See, I would expect a breakdown, because I tell you why. There's so much information in here, and it also goes on about staying over. So if you stay over, number of children paying. So there's a number of children paying, but this document is so big. It goes on about everything. It goes on about the kids staying over, how many nights they stay over, and it's look. I would expect a breakdown.
I'll tell you what, mate. I've got some very interesting documents.
Yeah.
Which DWP documents, official DWP documents of how they're supposed to treat their clients.
Yeah, right, Craig. I tell you what, mate. This is a breach of the charter, of the way they treated it.
Clive, let me also tell you something else, mate. Right? They are in breach of the Constitutional Reform and Governance Act 2010.
But Craig,
which is civil. No, listen, please. That's the Civil Service Code. The Civil Service Code is the same as the Ministerial Code and the Cabinet Manual. They are constitutional key features.
Craig,
they're not Mickey Mouse documents.
Craig, I'm going to stop you. Do you know why I'm going to stop you? Because you're saying that, all right? And I'll be honest with you, the government today, MPs, members of Parliament, all right, the government don't give a rat's ass about law.
They don't care about the Constitution, and that's the problem. What we have in Parliament at the moment, as government, we have Nazis, we have despots.
But Craig,
we have a dictatorship.
But Craig, where we're going to go back to now is Lee. I'm just thinking,
Sorry,
That's all right.
Craig, what we got to think about now is how we gonna capture Lee, all right? And there's other people out there going through what Lee's gone through. Some people we've lost already.
Yeah.
This has really got to be taken seriously, because it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and we need to sit down and we need to. Where do you live in, Lee?
Down south in Fareham.
I'm gonna have to come down and see you now in the next week or so. All right, we'll do a little bit of work, and I'll show you some work how you shift the emotions. All right, because what I done today, I connected your emotions. You got negative, positive, and what I just done today, I got you back in your power. So what we say by getting you back in your power is you're connecting yourself again. When you separate, and all of a sudden you get the negative emotions. I don't like using negative emotions. When you get them emotions of anger, what you're doing, you're separating yourself from what's actually going on in you. Mm-hmm. So the motion I done today with you, and I know I find it a little bit hard because I think, oh, everybody's looking at me. Yeah. I had a dog attacking me when I was going through, because I was going, yeah, come on. And I had a dog attacking my legs, and I was like, oh, I love this. And it's getting into your power. So you move your emotion back upwards. And you actually, what happens in our mind, our inner conversations are telling us things like, you're stupid, you should have known better, you're no good, you're not a good father, and he just keeps pushing you down. But if I stood there and went, give me one thought that went into your mind today, just one thought. Have you got a thought that kept coming at you?
Well, it's just my wife and kids at home.
I can't keep going like this because my wife and kids, I'm letting them down. Is that what you're saying? I'm going to ask you a question. Truth, lie, or don't know. Are you letting your wife and kids down?
I feel like it sometimes, but
no, that's your mind talk. That's your inner conversation. I just want truth, lie, or don't know. If you can verify it, all right, and substantiate it, all right, then it's a lie. Are you letting them down? You're telling yourself you're letting them down. Are you letting them down?
No.
You're putting food on the table. You're paying the bills. They got an house over their head, and you're a brilliant father. So stop telling yourself you're letting them down, because you're not. All right? That's a lie you're telling yourself, and that tells you that it pushes you. That's the way the mind is. You've got to look at what's going on. All right? You're a brilliant guy, mate. I'm glad you reached out to me, and I tell you what, I'm glad I got you in my phone, because I can't wait to meet you. But I don't drink anymore, by the way. I do green tea. I don't do coffee anymore either. So, right, you're going to have to bear with me, boy Mark. Bear with me. But, Craig, where can we go with this, mate? Because I've got an idea. It's discrimination again, Craig. They're discriminating him. They've gone against the charter. There's got to be a way we can actually take this. And it's got to stop.
It does have to stop indeed, and the government better start paying attention, because they are in breach of our constitution.
Yeah, I know that, Craig.
And we have every right. If they're not gonna fulfill their constitutional obligations,
But Craig,
and not wait and abide by the law and enforce the proper law, then we have every right to, force the law ourselves.
right, I'm gonna use this platform now, Lee. At the end of the day, what do you want? What do you want, Lee? What solutions? If I had a magic wand, what solutions do you want? What? Say again?
Well, I say the arrears gone.
Yeah.
And the CSA just out of my life, because it's been 10 years of hell. It's unbelievable.
Mate, 20 years.
I know Craig's had more, as you said today.
So the big thing is, what I would suggest is, because that's your mind talk, I just want it gone. How old are your kids now?
What, the ones I pay for?
Yeah.
So 17 and 14.
So 17 and 14. So you still got to pay for them kids at the moment. All right. So I think what you were saying is, your mind talk just said, I want it gone, because that's the way the mind talk works. Is I just need to get rid of it. I don't think you want that, because you're still going to pay for your kids. So yeah. So what I'm reading from what you just said, because people will watch this and they'll go, oh, he wants, and they'll get up on their high horse, because they actually start judging, all right, because they have expectations, but your mind talk doesn't look at the expectations. So what I'm going to say is, what do you want at the end of the day is a breakdown of the arrears, breakdown of what your payments are, and to be treated as their charter tells you they're going to treat you.
Also, Clive, not just a breakdown, but actual evidence that you earned that money.
No, Craig, definitely. The evidence, and you can't just give somebody without the evidence and the breakdown. All right, that's like an accountant going to the taxman. When I go to the taxman, I got to put my taxes in. Hey, the taxman, he may want to see the receipts. He may want to see the breakdown and everything, and I've got to have it there. So what I'm saying is, Lee is the client. So that's all they are, is the accountant. So they should have all the evidence and everything there. All right? And if Lee owes something, they should be saying to Lee, this is what you owe, this is what our evidence says, this is this. And as they say there, they should be, don't forget now, all right? Their charter says responsive, reliable, and respectful. Great.
Fuck me. Excuse my French.
Great. But what I'm saying to you is, they haven't been. Potentially, Lee may not have been with us tonight.
I know.
That's the fact.
That's why I put him on to you, mate.
All right. So let's look at let me have a look at a direction I want to go with this as well. Because Lee, I want to look. I haven't got involved really with anything in child support, all right, or child maintenance. You're the first person who's reached out to me, and I've gone, okay, yeah, bully. because of where you were, I want to start asking questions. I want to use you now because we've lost too many already, and potentially we could be losing others along the line. We've got people in the military.
We are losing people, mate.
Exactly. So
but we don't care about it.
And this is disgusting. The way they've treated you today is disgusting. All right, and I've had enough of it. So this is to MPs. We had an MP. What was his name, Craig? Who was going to come on? I'm going to call him out. What?
Andrew Bridgton.
Andrew Bridgton. You said you wanted to come on here and talk about CMS. You're a Conservative MP. I've opened it up for you. I actually texted you. We were talking, and your secretary got involved, and then your time started slipping. Look, this is unacceptable. We need somebody from Member of Parliament to start answering why people like Lee are suffering. Why they are suffering because the CMS cannot treat them responsive under their own headings, responsive, reliable, and respectful. Because this morning, really, I weren't happy with that this morning. Craig, Lee, thank you very much, because I tell you what, Lee, you're a friend, you're family, you're one of my family members now, but all right, so
He's a sailor, for God's sake. He's a
anytime you've got a problem, you phone me up, but you've got my number, all right?
I shall do, yeah.
And
you know where I am as well, Lee.
All right. Anything else you need to say now? Anything else we need to bring out while we're here?
Well, I'd just like to say, the government better get this sorted out, because this has gone on for far too long. I've been telling them, and many other people have been telling them about this shit with the CSA and the unlawful actions. We need an inquest. We need a public inquiry, and they need to do this because this is not acceptable. This is unconstitutional.
Yeah, but
the government have got to act within the Constitution and within the restraints of the rule of law.
They're already breaking the Equality Act. All right.
I know they are, mate.
So that's enough from you, Lee. Anything else you want to say, Bat? Anything you want to say?
No, that's it. No, but obviously, thank you again for today.
No, hey, my pleasure. But
I'd like to say thank you for obviously today after the phone call and stuff.
Hey, Lee, thank you, because you lifted me up as well. But it works both ways. All right. There's nothing to be. Look, there's nothing at all to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be. At the end of the day, it's part of life, mate. All right, it is life. So,
hey, Clive, Lee can scrub your back in the shower, mate. Your big fat hairy back.
Okay. I'll get the brass broom out, Craig, and I'll scrub you down. You carry on, sir. All right. All right.
Get a bit of grooming, sir. Bit of grooming.
I'll get your grooming set out.
Grooming kit out there.
Look, hey, this is a message to anybody else out there who is suffering. All right, or if you're struggling, look, get in touch. I'll help you as much as I can. Lee will tell you. We had a bit of a laugh, really, Lee, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
How was you in the corner of the site, Bat?
Oh, no, yeah.
So, look, right, don't struggle alone. Don't be alone, because you're not alone, all right? We've all been there, and we've all got the T-shirts. So, there's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of us don't know until the start of this year. I didn't know how the mind worked. Now I have a brilliant understanding of it. I'm in a better place than I ever have been. And I used a technique today, emotion to create emotion. It's actually it's what I learned in More to Life, and I learned of Tony Robbins as well. Tony Robbins is a motivational speaker in the United States, and we got 80. You've only got to smile. Start using your face muscles. 80 face muscles. Get them going. Start laughing. And remember what I said. When you're feeling a little bit down, go to that nice place. Go to that place where you makes you laugh. All right, and get in touch with me. All right, that's all I'm going to say. I love you all, and until next time. Fireman Sam next, Bully.
Fireman Sam Thursday. Fireman Sam on Thursday.
Fireman Sam on Thursday. We see where Fireman Sam is. Fireman Sam was the first person on, so we see where he is today. See what's happened with him, because I heard there's some news there. So that's where we are. So it's goodbye from me.
No, just before you go, just before we do the T Ronnie's thing, Fireman Sam, you know how there was 10 questions posed to the CMS. They only responded to 3, and the 3 that they responded to, they responded with a load of bullshit. And Fireman Sam has got the evidence to prove that they were waffling away, bluffing the ticket. Anyway.
But that's breaching the charter again.
Again, yes, civil service code, mate. It's a
I tell you.
case.
So anyway, that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Lee?
And goodbye from me.
Buenas noches, chaps.